Cuba, it's me! Welcome to episode 157 of the W.I.L.L.I.W show, which stands for Wrestling is Life. Life is Wrestling. Now today I wanted to talk about my experience being on a show on YTV for wrestling. Now there was this show, I can't remember the name, Jesse Jones remembers the name, but I still can't remember it, where kids would tell what they wanted to be when they grew up, and then they'd spend the day training to do that, and then they'd get to test it out at the end of the day. So there was this one 15-year-old kid who said he wanted to be a wrestler when he grew up. So they come and they have a table with catering, and it wasn't anything fancy, but they had like 3 or 4 cameramen and a producer and like a host. And they come and Sid Summers was there, so he would teach the kid how to wrestle, and they would show clips of that and showing him how to do stuff. And then at the end of the show, then he would wrestle somebody, and then that would be like the big main event, the last segment on it. So I remember sitting around, and we were lucky. I don't know how they must have contacted the wrestling school. I don't think Ike was the one to get his hands into it, but I'm pretty sure they just looked for the closest wrestling school to where they filmed the show, and then they contacted us, and of course, who would say no to that? So then they came to the school, and I remember I was just hanging around and just soaking it all in, and I got word. I was going to appear on the show. I was going to be a referee. So it was pretty neat. Like, they spent like 6 to 8 hours of filming, and then by the end of it, when it finally aired, someone had it on tape. It aired, and it was only like 21 minutes with commercials. It was a half-an-hour show, but they filmed so long just to get that little bit, and there was the kid, the 15-year-old kid. I can't remember his name or anything about him. And then at the end, he was going to fight Wild Thing Juan Ortiz, and I was going to get to be the ref. Now, I didn't even get paid for this. And I still had to sign, like some kind of waiver, like allowing my likeness to be featured or something like that. I got a little bit of the catering. It was an interesting time, and like something I can put on my resume, I guess. This is actually the second time I had ever been on TV for wrestling. One time when I was a teenager, I got to be on the local Campbell River channel, the local CRTV they would call it, and they played one of our exhibition matches on the channel. So this was my second time being on TV for wrestling, and I was pretty excited. And Juan Ortiz actually did a really great job of wrestling the kid and making him look good. It was actually a pretty decent match, and of course the kid wins at the end. I count the 1, 2, 3, and everybody goes home happy. It was a very interesting experience, especially because like a lot of the camera guys and stuff, they didn't know anything about wrestling that much, so they were really into it, and they were like learning alongside this kid, right? So it was very just a wonderful experience. And it aired on YTV. It aired a couple times because they would do reruns of the show and whatnot. I really can't remember the name of the show. I'll have to ask Jesse Jones, he remembers. But it was quite a good time, and another feather I could put in my cap. And I also got on TV a couple of times thanks to 21st Century Fox. She was on like some styling gypsy show or some makeover show or something, and there was some other one she was on as well. And then also I was on Rogers TV for PWA. So those are some of my moments in TV. The YTV thing was kind of the coolest that I had the biggest part in, and it was filming, and it wasn't just wrestling. It was like all this other stuff behind the scenes and whatnot. But I enjoyed myself. Remember, on the W.I.L.L.I.W show, like or you get a leg drop, comment or you get a clothesline, subscribe or you get a suplex. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Cuba.